To be a very heavy review day today. I've completed one movie review, which will probably not get any views, but fuck it. You know, when you're in a bit of a pickle, a bit of a bind emotionally after someone who you thought was a friend accuses you of being a Nazi, or that you read Mein Kampf
balls
because you agree with this.
Fuck you, thank you very much. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, whatever the fuck. Some cunt called me a Nazi and implied I was alt-right. I am so apolitical. I'm so apolitical I might as well be asexual, which I used to think I was when I realised that all my exes just didn't do it for me. Thank God I found Laura. Anyway, tangent aside, I'm going to be warbling about a certain movie. But like most of my videos, long, arduous, more like a fairy tale than anything else. Let's start at the beginning. Strings first caught my attention when I channel hopped through all 5 channels. Yes, all 5. Get me! On my grandmother's upstairs television. One of them, you know, that had a hoop. Or a huge hoop earring, which was, I think, quite a fashionable thing of the time. A big, large hoop satellite that dictated which one you'd get a better signal on. Which channel would it be? It usually was BBC, which is quite fitting now considering that those wankers charge us a TV licence. It only makes sense that they've got the best signal, which isn't always true because since converting to digital television, BBC is really difficult to, well, get a fucking signal to. This was in 2004, and I stumbled across, halfway through, wibbly speech impedimented Jonathan Ross.
welcome
Jonathan Ross. Wossies.
with a wobble.
Wossie's reign of power of the BBC network was supreme. At weekends, during the week, Friday evenings. But this one was film on BBC. Ross's tenure lasted from 1999 to 2010, where he wibbles and wobbles and wee woos reviews films.
Wibbly. With a wobble this week with a hobbly wobble blockbuster with a wobble called wibbly wobble.
Before that reign was cut short by this.
Now, when you were
He
doing...
fucked your granddaughter.
Man, I loved watching this show. I loved it. Fuck! I even watched it when this irritable itch took over and ensured its tenure would be short-lived.
Claudia Winkleman has an annoying personality vacuum.
Why they didn't just go give the role to Danny Lee? Or even Mark Kermode? Who knows? I'm not here to bite your ear off about film, the long-running movie review show put out by the BBC. I'm here to talk about the sublime mythical fantasy puppet animated motion picture Strings.
Harold, my son, when you read this letter, I shall be dead. I leave you the throne of Hebelon. You have not yet been to war and been part of the evil that has darkened our lives for centuries. The ancient hatred between us and the Zerids, in which I myself played such a large part.
See, I'm turning to Jonathan Ross now. When Ross was wibbling and wobbling on...
Wobble. Wibbly wobble to meet you. Wibble wobble Eric Banner. Wibble wobble Phil Bixby. Wibbly Will Wingo. Wobble. Just a wibble bit of me.
I was taken by the movie's beautiful look, the scenic environments, the lighting. It was quite unlike any puppet in my 9-year-old mind show I'd ever seen. I loved puppets and marionettes. I'd always been fascinated by them. But sometimes in my autistic mind, I didn't like the inclusion of the wires, especially when I was given my own Thunderbirds puppet and I couldn't figure out how the fuck to make it walk. I mean, as someone with autism, I was struggling to walk as it was. How could I make a fucking marionette walk when I couldn't walk myself? Or speak, for that matter. I don't think that's changed. It was so unique. A movie that was led by puppets. This was special. And this also came before I was introduced to America, America, fuck yeah.
Terrorize this.
This footage played over Wassie's wibbling and wobbling face.
Wibble wobble, wibble wobble.
I couldn't care less about Wassie. It was strange, almost taboo in how the strings looked almost deliberately left in, a main focus to the feature. Akin to Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, both personal favourites of mine. Oh, and Stingray, Stingray. The puppets were unable to emote. With no mouthpieces, they were merely dolls held up by strings, framed and lit beautifully. Wooden marionettes hadn't ever looked, well, so plain, odd and pared down. These were literally inanimate wooden models. Somehow, by the alchemy and magic of filmmaking and marionette and puppetry, by the skill of the people in the sky, my mind was confused but enthralled. Now, memory eludes me. Insert that noise. From out of nowhere, it drifted and came, passed by, entered me, exited me. Only on occasion as I got older and was exposed to different mediums and forms of art, and mediums of which to apply to tell stories. Marionettes stayed with me. And not any old marionette, but these characters from the film Strings. For years the name eluded me. I had a vague sense of what it was, a pseudo-biblical epic told with marionettes, but I never did the legwork in trying to find it. Then one day, a few years later, it was shown on Film 4. And due to the puppets not being able to move their mouths or features, I wasn't as taken by it. Also, the quality wasn't that good. Funny, I recall watching it on a fuzzy TV, but on a digital satellite channel. That left a bad impression, as I was spoiled by the other infamous, for all the wrong and right reasons, puppet films of the century, Team America World Police.
I like you. You have balls. I like balls.
Specifically, I find disinterest. I was young, naive, and spoilt. What can I say?
All right, let's make this interesting.
Kia!
You lose. He's getting away with the WMD. I got him.
For years, though, it drifted in and out of my head. I knew it was a film that could be mistaken very easily for a religious-based one, as there being a rather heavy influx of religious study short stop-motion films made to indoctrinate us into whichever religion our RE teacher or religious studies teacher wished for us to be afforded knowledge of. Made to educate wee mites like myself in the era of the late 90s to even the early noughties. So, the other week, I looked up the film on Google. Thank you, Google. It was not as heavy a task searching for it than I had initially anticipated. Hot damn. So, it was an easy find, but not so easy to attain. Then good old Amazon had it available on Blu-ray, a Dutch version, whereas the UK version was available second hand for too high a price. So, this Blu was on UK Amazon, and possessing a region, I had a hunch my Blu-ray player could play it. I had that weird sense that isn't all European Blu-rays able to play on our region players. Regions, players. Regions, players. I launched at it with an English audio dub. Whoop, whoop. Shame that the extras are not in English or have options for English subs. That's really disappointing. There's like a feature-length documentary about the making of the film. But onwards to the movie itself. This movie is utterly sublime. I will give you a short synopsis. When a prince sets out to avenge the death of his father, he realises that he was not murdered, but instead committed suicide. During his journey, he also learns the truth about his tribe, Okay, there's a lot more to it than that. That was a really bad synopsis. Let me give it another look. Da-da-dee-da. Strings is a puppet animated mythic fantasy film about the son of an ostensibly assassinated ruler who sets out to avenge his father, but through a series of revelations comes from much clearer understanding of the conflict between the two peoples concerned. The film was made with marionettes, and the strings are part of the fictional world as life springs. It's famed for its innovative cinematography and scenic design. Boom, yeah, Wikipedia, you're my homeboy. The movie is quite sublime. The skill, craftsmanship, in the puppets, in the models, in every element that goes into making this film what it is, blows so many other bigger budget affairs out of the water. And this isn't even talking about stop motion or marionette-driven films themselves. This is just amazing. So, first of all, the puppeteers, the sculptors, the art directors, painters, marionette masters, everyone behind the scenes who don't get enough credit deserve all the praise in the world. Without their skill, their diligence and their passion and their dedication, we wouldn't have such a unique and wholly original movie. Every detail is interweaved with this unique mythology, centred on the marionettes and the style of the world it's set within and crafted, and has been made to represent certain echelons and hierarchies and tribes. The sets, the lighting, it makes it all stand out. Also, the storyline is so unique. The way the story is told, of all things, the whole world, the notion of them being marionettes is weaved, tangled, strung together. Haha, like those words, did ya? Of those marionettes and their mythos. Also, I've got to go on another tangent. This film obviously heavily inspired Guillermo del Toro's animated prologue sequence in Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
Power or knowledge could fill, and in his infinite greed, man dreamt of expanding his dominion over the entire earth.
Even some of the designs of his puppets look the same. Though this word was never in my mind, or nor would I have ever been able to use it at that age, nor properly or appropriately, it was always for me an innovative movie. Unique, gorgeous, impressively emotive and affecting. A bona fide masterpiece. Where is the director? What has he gone on to do? Smaller affairs, smaller than Strings, bigger affairs in his home nation, but nothing that really set on fire, nor really got Hollywood going, we need this guy. It's a shame, but Strings is a 4-star masterpiece. Not quite 5 stars. There are some moments in this movie where I was like, attention span, going, oh, you got me again. But no, 4 stars for Strings. Seek it out and watch it. Rent it, buy it, just simmer its detail and wonder.
Matt Damon!
Fuck you, thank you very much, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Go on. So, go on.